Hey everyone, I'm Brian Lovelace. I'm the founder of NaviUpgrade.com. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different video, and we're going to be showing an install of this MeLe battery mount for the PC680 Odyssey battery for a Ford Focus. My car is a 2017 Ford Focus ST, but this is going to work for any Ford Focus between 2012 and 2018. Let's get right on into it. I should probably look up what I'm doing, 'cause I've never done this before. Here are the tools that you're going to need for this project. You're going to need a 3/8 inch ratcheting wrench, an 8-inch extension. I don't have an 8-inch extension, so I'm going to be using a combo of these two. You're going to need a 10mm 3/8 inch socket. You're going to need a 10mm deep socket in the 1/4 inch size. You're going to need a 1/4 inch ratchet. You're going to need a flat-headed screwdriver, and you're going to need a 4mm Allen key. I'm going to be using this screwdriver that has the 4mm Allen attachment on it. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove this battery cover right here. We'll set it aside. Now we're going to use our 10mm socket, and we're going to disconnect our battery. Alright, the positive terminal of our battery is disconnected. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to move my sub wire out of there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start removing the airbox so I can get to this battery box right here. To remove the airbox, we're going to use a flathead screwdriver, and we're going to start removing the clamps right here. We're also going to pop this clip off right here and remove it from its holding tab right there. Don't forget to plug this in when we're putting it all back together. Now we're going to pull up here. You can kind of wiggle this just like this to get it out of its position here. We'll set this all aside. And our airbox is out. Now would also be a good time to replace your filter if it's dirty, or if you need to re-oil it, clean a reusable one, be a good time to do that as well. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to take off this elbow here and set it aside. Now we're going to use our flathead screwdriver, and we're going to work on removing these tabs that hold in this wire from this junction box here, this fuse and relay box. We'll tuck these aside so they're out of our way. And this is your battery junction box right here. So this is where all of the power runs off to your engine, to your body control module, everything like that. So we just need to be very careful that we don't mess anything up in here, because this is where your mega fuses are stored. Alright, to remove this, all we need to do is we need to pull up and separate it from the rest of the box, just like that. And now we'll have access to these back here. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to break out our 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm deep socket on it, and we're going to loosen this tie down that's right here. I'm going to switch to my 3/8 ratchet for a little bit more leverage. And we'll take the rest off by hand. There we go. Now we can scoot this battery forward, take off the BMS sensor, which can be done by squeezing and pulling just like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use our 10mm socket along with our 8-inch extension to get this rear terminal off. Give it a couple wiggles, and as you can see, my current battery is leaking acid a little bit, so it's a good time to change. I've been having some starting issues with this recently, so. All right, now we're gonna work on getting this entire battery box out. So where there's a 10mm bolt right here and a 10mm bolt right here. We'll see if we run into any more along the way. All right, so now it looks like we've got this out. Let's see if, oh no, there's one more back here inside of the hole back down here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to grab my short extension to get this guy. And those 3 bolts are now out, which means that this tray should come out pretty easily now. Mind the BMS sensor, and let's see if there's anything else. I might be getting caught on my strut bar here a little bit. Oh, there we go. It's all out, nice. Don't do what I just did and drop all the dirt down in there. All right, here comes the fun part. We're gonna get to install the actual mount itself. So I'm gonna open up the little baggie of hardware that the MeLe mount comes with. And inside of this, you're going to find this wire right here. I'm going to unfold this wire. And this is to help align everything once we get everything inside and mounted. So we go here, just unwrapping everything. Now I'm going to come here, put one side through here and another side through here. You're going to want to put it onto the side that has the hex heads and this nut. And then obviously this is going to be the screw end and this is going to be a hex head right here. So we're going to try and make this pretty even here. All right. And now let's get to installing. So the whole idea behind this is it mounts in here and goes in between this little subframe kind of thing right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it like this. It sets inside, then we rotate it 45 degrees so it's like that. Okay? So now what we do is this wire helps us guide this so it doesn't move around and get out of our way. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the mount itself. We're grabbing the mount, and then there's two small holes down in here. So what we do is we put one side through there. Perfect. And then we put the other side through the other one. And this just helps us guide. I had a big lapse of judgment here when I opened up that battery tie-down flap. You're going to want to keep it closed as much as you can until you get your first screws in. And that's because if you leave it open like that, like I did, then when you go to try and close it, once all of your screws are in, you're going to notice that your strut bar is in the way, and it's not going to be fun because you have to uninstall it. And yeah, so you'll see that later in the video. Let's get back into it. Our mount into place. As you can see, it's twisting on us a little bit. So we have to align this all up. This might take a second here. Okay. And then we pull up. And this is meant to be a tight fit, so our screws are coming through the bottom now. And now we come into our little baggie of goodies here. And you'll find 3 little nuts. And we're going to start threading them while pulling up on this onto the screws. Remember to pull up on this wire as you do it so that you are able to get enough of the screw thread into the bottom of the mount so that you can put these nuts on. All right, hopefully you can see we've got this wire coming through here, and what I've done is I've put nuts right here, here, and here. And what that's done is it's allowed it so that this mount is pretty solid. So they're just hand tight for now. We're gonna go back in, with our 8-inch extension, and we're going to tighten them down. Once we get this last hole right here, we have to put, there's a screw in here that we need to put in there. That's got a 4mm hex head. So let's do that now. All right, so I have our screw right here, and I'm just gonna reach my hand in and start threading it, and then kind of move this box around until I get it where it's supposed to be. I think that's it right there. Yep, that's it right there. So then you can kind of move this around just a little bit so you get it aligned perfectly with your car. All right, now I'm gonna get this pretty tight right down here. Now what I'll do is I'm going to grab my 3/8" socket wrench and 8-inch extension with the 10mm on it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten these down very slowly. We don't want it to be very tight because this is designed to be a very tight fit in general. So the whole idea is that we only want to be one thread past the end of the bolt that sticks up through the bottom. And the reason for this is because we don't want to puncture our battery as we're going around the racetrack or doing just general driving in general, because that would be really, really bad if we started leaking battery acid everywhere. So be careful, do it the right way. So it's really barely tight. I'm barely tightening it down. So this barely sticks past. I'm gonna come in, do the last one right here. I'm gonna do a little bit more on that, maybe a quarter turn. Perfect. All right, just in case we have to use this wire again later down the line, if I ever decide to take this out or do anything else with it, I'm going to kind of tie it off at the bottom here and fold it away so that I can use it again if I ever need to. As you can tell, our battery mount is very secure. It's not going anywhere. All right, now we're left with this. Our battery junction box is just hanging there. So what do we do about that? Fortunately, our friends over at MeLe have done an excellent job in providing a way for us to mount this. They've given us these little spacers with these screws right here and a nut at the end. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove this nut. We're going to put it in a safe place. And remember those holes that we took this out of? Well, what we do is we take this and we put it through just like that. We put the spacer in here, just like this. And then we come in here and we mount it just like that. But I can't do that quite yet because I need to do the other as well at the same time. All right, now there's two holes on the MeLe box that these go through. I'm going to hold each one with my index and forefinger, and I'm going to try to get these through. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm running into a bit of an issue. This one is not coming through all the way, so there we go. All right, now we're good. You just tighten these down just like that. Get your other nut. Tighten this one down. Now we're going to take our 10mm socket and a ratcheting wrench, and we're just going to tighten them just the same way we did with the bottom ones. Be just enough to get past the first thread. This one's sticking a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 4mm Allen key on this side, and let's get one more quarter turn in here. Perfect, they're barely sticking out. Now we can grab our Odyssey Extreme Series PC680 battery, and we're just going to stuff it down in here. It is a very tight fit, which is the way it's supposed to be. And I made a boo-boo, and I put this on without it closed. So I'm gonna do this over again. Boom. Ooh. All right, so now all we need to do, go back into our little baggie here, and we're going to grab the pin out. All we have to do is push down, and don't drop it like I did. All right. Come on, and there we go. Now it's in place, perfect. All right, I'm gonna grab a microfiber towel cloth, rub off all of my greasy little hand marks, finger marks. Beautiful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall our terminals. And we are installing the positive terminal first. And I'm going to pull my sub. I don't run a big sub, so that's why I can get away with using this, this tiny battery. Otherwise, I would not recommend this if you're using anything else. Anything bigger than, you know, like 500 watts or so. All right. I'm gonna tighten this down just like this. And pull off this extra little tape right here I had sitting there. All right, to clean off all this corrosion and battery acid, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a wire brush like this, and I'm gonna get some white distilled vinegar, and I'm going to just kind of put it on here just like this, and give it a couple rubs. This is going to help eat away at all that corrosion. Just going to coat it just a little bit right here. I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to go at it. This car doesn't really see wet roads, so I'm not really sure why this is corroding. So we'll see if this continues after we have this new battery installed. Just going to dry this off a little bit. As you can see, don't have any more corrosion on there. It's a little rusty, but that's just copper for you. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to route this around if I can. Oh, ha ha ha! All right, be careful. Your your things might go haywire. All right. And now we're going to take our 10 millimeter socket again, and we're going to start tightening this down. All right, there we go. Now it's solid on the post. Now the last thing to do is don't forget we've got that battery monitoring system that we need to plug back in. So this will come right here. You can probably do this cleaner than mine using some zip ties or something like that. But I'm just going to come right here, and should go in just like that. I'll probably eventually zip tie this all off right here, make it a little bit cleaner, but there it is. That's how you install the MeLe PC680 battery mount in a Ford Focus ST or RS. This will work for both cars. Now I'm just going to put this all back together. We'll be back on the road in no time. Check it out. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video about how to install the MeLe battery mount for the 2012 to 2018 Ford Focus ST or RS. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I do a whole bunch of videos, mainly on audio stuff, but I'm also going to be dabbling into more car repair videos along with some restore videos on my 1990 Honda CRX and just some general maintenance stuff on my 2017 Ford Focus ST. So if you're into cars, if you're into that kind of stuff, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. And if you like my videos that much, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.